just gonna do this dance party.
Dance party.
I know. I think this is how we should just continue to start every time, because then it just like loosens you up, gets you in the vibes,
Gets you in the vibes.
gets you in the vibes. The vibes are going.
Where's
Hi,
my
everybody.
psychedelic crazy one? Yep.
Welcome to Stranger Geeks on Geek the F Out. I am Johnny.
And I'm Kayla. And do you want to introduce our esteemed guest, Johnny?
Yes. Tonight we are joined by Seanna from Diced Thespians, The Sundered Veil, the names of other shows that you play, the other games that you play on air. I don't remember. Darklight's one of them.
Yeah, there's Darklight. There's the Fae campaign, which is just called the Fae campaign, as far as I can remember. There's Arcade Echoes in Jazz Age Shadows, which I'm running. I'm sorry, I'm kidding. It's great. There's a couple more that are like one shots or one offs and stuff that I don't need to list because that's way too many.
Amazing. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Have you here. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to be talking about Stranger Things Season 2, Episodes 3 and 4 this evening. And just to quickly go over how we do this, I'm going to kind of run through the episode. And by run, I mean slowly run through the episode. And as we have things to say, we'll talk about those things. And then talk about the episodes kind of in general at the end, get Johnny's predictions going forward, because yeah, this is the first time Johnny's watched it. If you haven't watched this before, we're doing the opposite of Trek Retrek. Did you just see that fuzz fall?
I did, out of this corner of my eye. I was like, I think that was just in my head. So thank you for acknowledging it.
No.
So I didn't think I was crazy.
But yeah, and then get Johnny's predictions, because he has not seen it before, opposite of Trek Retrek, and do some That's What They Said and some spoilers without context, and then close out the show. So
Indeed. But first,
let's say hi to the peeps.
Let's say hi to our wonderful audience this evening.
Wonderful.
Quip is here. Thanos Copter, hello.
Speaking of Thanos, I was just telling Johnny that Johnny's new beard cut makes him kind of look like you. Beard cut. It's not a haircut. It's a beard cut.
Derek Hoover is
Trim.
here.
Hi, Derek.
Eldor, Master Versal Toy Hunter, is here. Yes, good evening.
Eldor.
All in the Upside Down.
Yes, indeed.
Sorry, can I do it? I'm going to try.
There's we could mirror our video, but we can't flip it. And then
Lame.
when we mirror it doesn't even do it anyway. But so thank you everybody for joining us, and to anybody watching the replay, thank you for catching that. And we'll try to catch people as they filter in here throughout the evening. So
yes, indeed. Appreciate y'all being here with us to talk about some Stranger Things. Should we get into it now?
Yes, we should. Yes.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I'll try not to be too opinionated.
Oh, no. We love that. Give all the opinions. Feel free to just interrupt me, because sometimes I'm kind of in a flow. Just be like, shut the fuck up and let me talk. I already broke the 5-minute rule. Oh, well.
Like 6 seconds away. I think you're fine.
5, 4, 3. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't help.
All good. Okay, so pretty much this episode picks up right from the end of episode 2. Dustin comes home and is hiding who we find out later is Dart from his mom.
Yes.
And
it's so cute.
He is very cute. Yeah, his mom like totally suspects something's up with him, and she's like, "Are you constipated again?"
Yeah, that was my first note. LOL, constipated.
His poor kid. Like, thank God, none of his friends are there or anything, because he would have been probably so embarrassed. But yeah, and then like the trap moves and Muse hisses at it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this is the whole new like thing I put into it to make it move, to make it seem like there's a ghost in it." And I'm like, really, your mom's gonna believe that you could figure out how to do something like that? Like, that sounds pretty hard to do, especially as a child.
I don't know.
In
Dustin's
the
the one
80s?
who runs around with a headset on for his CB. I feel like he is the most like engineering inclined of the group.
Totally.
So I believe it. I bought it.
Okay. But yeah, then they start laughing at each other, and they're just like weird, awkward, cringe laughing. I was like, dear God, this scene needs to be
You're like,
done.
can it stop now?
Yeah. And then yeah, he ends up putting Dart in his little terrarium. And
Where does
takes
the
his
turtle
out.
go?
Yeah, I was wondering that. I was like, the poor turtle who was called Yertle.
Yeah, he just puts him on the floor, and then that's the last we see of him for a while, as far as I know. I don't remember when we get him back, but
which I'm hoping what happened to Muse didn't happen to the turtle too, because that would just be too sad to lose two pets. Spoiler alert, but
yeah. I agree.
Yeah, and then we kind of
failed me.
Yeah, we kind of pan around the room and we see a ET figure. And okay, Johnny, was it kind of looked He-Man-ish or like Beast-Man or something like that? Did you see that figure that was in front of ET? I stopped it a couple of times, and I was only watching on my computer, so I couldn't really see it that closely. But it's like when Dustin's sleeping and then they show Dart kind of wiggling around
and making the weird noises with the red light, and he's like,
yeah, exactly. Anyways, well, you figure it out. I'll keep going.
Also, I have a note, and I wrote down, I'm like, that's totally one of Will's gut slugs. And
yeah,
it seems like that's the case because later he kind of flashes to himself throwing it up in the sink from the end of season 1. Which we can kind of talk about that at the end, because I've always kind of been curious about whether it was actually from him or if it came from somewhere else. But yeah, we can theorize that at the end. And then we get a throwback to Elle hiding in the woods when I must have been looking at my new Chopper figure, because I put Chopper instead of Hopper in my notes.
Just give him an axe, you'll be fine.
When Hopper goes up to fill the box, and then she stalks him back home. And then we go to present day. Elle is still giving Hopper the silent treatment, and he bribes her with a waffle tower, which was a really cute moment, especially like considering what happens in these 2 episodes. It gets very intense between them, so it was nice to have this little moment, and I really wanted that waffle tower. It looked
bribery,
really yummy.
Totally works. I don't know what this figure is. It's not a Masters of the Universe figure. It looks like a Motu figure, but I think it's one of the random like 80s knockoffs, because I don't recognize it from anything. It could have been any number of knockoff Motu lines from that time period.
Who knows? Yeah, I wasn't really recognizing
but it's not one that
it.
I recognize.
Okay. Well, that makes me feel better that you don't even recognize it then. Because I'm still new.
Hang on, I'll throw it up here in a second.
Okay. Let's see.
Asking.
Yeah. Hop tells Elle that seeing Mike in real life would be too dangerous, and Elle gets mad that he keeps saying soon for when she can see her friends, but clearly it's not happening. And she explodes and sends the waffles flying.
Those poor waffles.
Yeah, it looks kind of like it has some kind of like bandolier, and then
it kind of looks like Stretch
a
Armstrong
skull necklace,
from what I can see.
Is
it a skull necklace? I can't tell.
These look like skulls to me. The 3.
You're probably right. Yeah, and a beard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it definitely looks like
Sloth
definitely
from
looks like a vintage Motu figure.
I don't know if it's Sloth from Goonies.
Black Star figure. Could be a Black Star figure.
Maybe. I'm not familiar with Black Star as much as I am Motu, so that's certainly possible.
It definitely resembles Motu for sure, especially with the flocked crotch.
The furry shorts.
Furry shorts.
I was unsure about the rating of this, so I was not going to say anything, but I was like,
I mean, we do it. That's what they said. So it's kind of just, you could say whatever.
Perfect.
We're not monetized yet, so it doesn't really matter.
Fuck it, dude. Let's go bowling.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's go bowling.
We got 2 votes for Black Star in the chat, so
okay,
that's what we'll say it is.
I'll defer to y'all then. All right, moving on. So yeah, she explodes at him. Waffle's flying at the buyer's house. Bob has stayed over, which ooh la la, and offers to take Will to school, which very cute. And Dustin goes to the library to check out.
Well, hang on, Bob
Go
and
ahead.
Bobmobile.
Yes.
I can't help but
such a dad without being a dad. It's cute. It's so cute.
I can't help but think of like Bob from the Sundered Veil when I see this Bob. Like I'm just like, that Bob has turned into Sean Astin for me now. So like,
okay, yeah, I can see that. You can have Bob in the Sundered Veil is the young version of Sean Astin, which means he's a Samwise Gamgee, which means he is the MVP of everything. So we're good.
Yeah,
exactly. So hi, Pains. I don't know if you brought up his comment, but
I
hi.
I just saw him.
Okay. So yeah, he goes to check out. Dustin goes to, check out some books, and she tells him he's already had 10 taken out. You can only do 5 at a time. And then he's like, oh, what's that over there? And then takes the books and runs.
Needs his paddles.
Yeah, he does. And then while Bob is taking Will to school, he tells him about Mr. Baldo, which it's a clown, right? Like it's
I assume so,
yeah. That he was scared at the fair, and then he had nightmares about him, and tells Will how sometimes you just need to stand up to these things and they'll go away, which
totally,
as we learn,
good advice.
Yeah, like it's funny because normally it'd be good advice for like, any other kind of nightmare situation that didn't involve real life implications. But in this case, unfortunately not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Will just gets the shit end of the stick every time.
Yeah, he really does. Let's see. At school, Lucas catches Max up with Will's disappearance / fake murder, and she totally doesn't believe him. She's like, that can't be right. And he's like, no, like it is. Ask anyone, which I probably would have had the same reaction as her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Dustin comes in late to Mr. Clark's class and tells boys they need to meet after class, and Max as well. And it was so funny when he responded to Mr. Clark. He was like, yes, my lord.
Yes, I love that too.
Yeah.
No, I will say in that
like
scene
that as well.
Yeah, no, that was great. I love the way that he interacts with his teachers. The only thing with that scene that I was like, okay, they're sitting in the front and they're just talking so blatantly to each other, like in these fake loud whispers. Hey, everybody. And then he turns around and shouts across the thing in a fake loud whisper, everybody, to this girl. And the teacher just doesn't. They're right in front of him. They're not even in the back of the class.
I think he does. I think it's in that scene when Mr. Clark was like, oh, like, pay attention. He's like, I am paying attention. Yes, my lord. I think that's when he says it.
Yeah, but that's it. Like, just once. He says it once and they keep going after, which is where I was like,
not realistic.
I feel like, yeah, especially 80s teachers. Not realistic at all. Public school.
Public school. Yeah, that's
true.
They
don't get paid enough to care about your shit, kids.
Exactly. Someone who went to private school, yeah, that would never have happened. Also, like, if you came in that late, you wouldn't have been able to come into class. They would have been like, bye. It was bad. Anyways, let's see. At police station, Hopper notices pattern of rot and traces it back to the middle and realizes it's the lab. big
Oh, what a
surprise.
surprise. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm
Big
shocked
surprise.
that it's coming from the Hellmouth in Hawkins.
Yeah. Like,
surprise.
everything leads back to there always.
Yeah. I like how on the map they even had like a white square.
Yes.
So you're just like, it's a circle. Of course we know exactly where it's the white square.
Yeah.
Very clean white square on this not white map. It was great.
It's like X marks the spot perfectly.
Yeah.
Let's see. Elle looks at door to leave and then flashes back to Elle and Hopper walking into the house when she like right after she found the waffles and everything. And apparently Hopper had been using the cabbage from storage. It was his grandpa's. So we found out more.
It's Hopper's granddad's cabin. Old Pappy's cabin.
Yeah, because you had asked about it. You were like, where'd this cabin come from?
Where'd the cabin come from? Yeah, like,
and
where's
we got
trailer?
an answer, which I was surprised we got an answer, but that's great. Yeah, and Hopper tells Elle it's her new home. Very cute moment. And he puts on an album and they start cleaning up the cabin. They set up the tripwire together, and then he goes over the ground rules with her. He's like, 3 rules only, which it's kind of cool. They flash to the present at the same time with Elle breaking all of them and leaving the cabin. So that was a cool shot scene.
Yeah, she's in her rebellious phase.
Yeah, she is. And then I think this must be boys PE when they're playing basketball. I don't think it's them practicing. I don't know.
It seemed like it was
unclear
in the middle of the fucking school day, so I feel like maybe it was practice after school. I don't know.
One way or the other. Billy is heckling Steve, saying how he used to be king of the school. And then Nancy confronts Steve and he tells her what happened last night, which, yeah, she clearly didn't remember. Yeah. Johnny really doesn't like the Nancy and Steve stuff. FYI.
I don't blame you on that. I just want to strangle Nancy and Steve a lot every time they're on screen. I'm just
I just don't give a shit about either of them. My note is yes. Hopefully we're done with Nancy and Steve. I know based on comments from other ones that we are not.
Yeah, no spoilers.
Because people keep going, oh, you'll come around on Steve. You'll like Steve in the end. And I'm like, yeah, I don't fucking. If they make me like Steve, that's amazing. Well, if the writers of the show can make me care about.
You won't love him, but he definitely gets better. I will say
it's in the context of them not being near each other. He's great. But when they're in scenes together, it's still, even at the end, annoying as fuck because I personally don't like Nancy. Like, I'm not a fan of Nancy. I wanted to, especially in the first season, but then it was like this. I was like, no. That's how I felt about a lot of things with a lot of them. Yeah. Not just Nancy, but with a lot of them. So
Quip apparently is with you. He didn't like Nancy either. I'm ambivalent on Nancy. I don't dislike her, but she's not like, if she was not in the show, I would not miss her. And I just the whole first season and this season so far, I'm like, I do not care. I do not care about Steve and Nancy's fucking relationship. I do not give a shit about the two of them or any of the teenagers' relationships. I don't care.
We need to have a Johnny hates on Nancy and Steve banner when you go on these rants. Just like for tangent
just have
time.
It like go over the top too.
Yeah. Justice for Barb.
I agree. That whole thing was bullshit.
Such bullshit. Such bullshit. And it's funny with rewatching it, I definitely don't remember a lot of Nancy being upset about Barb and then like trying to get justice for her, essentially. Like, for some reason I thought she kind of got over it faster, so I will say it was good to see that she didn't and she was still, concerned.
Yeah, like,
I feel
go ahead,
sorry,
Shauna.
what were you gonna say? You first, Johnny.
I was gonna say, like I mentioned last week, like I'm surprised that all that this is still a plot point, like that they didn't just like, oh, Barb's dead, okay, we're over it, and move on with their lives. That they're actually like exploring this thread.
I honestly believe that the reason they brought that back at all is because after the first season, enough people were like, "That's bullshit." Because
I think so. I think so too.
That's what happened during the third season. After Barb died, it was very brief, and then it was move on to all the other stuff. And then the second season, they brought that back, where it's like, oh, now we didn't forget you guys, I swear.
Yeah.
Because enough people had backlash about it because it was stupid.
Yeah.
Just wait, Quip. There's a fuck them kids moment coming up.
Oh shit.
Yeah. As we like to say, Johnny would have been right alongside Anakin in Order 66. Anyways. And Steve tells her to say that she loves him and she can't say it, which I was like, ugh. Which later she does say to Jonathan. She's like, I don't know if I do. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably not a good sign.
Maybe you guys should break up.
Necessarily, yeah. I mean, you can be in a relationship with someone and not be head over heels in love. Like the two of these.
But she's already said that she loves him.
Did she? Oh, well, that's a problem. I don't remember that.
Exactly. I think it was in the first episode. He's like, I love you. And she's like, I love you too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways.
I like that.
Never talking about Brenda ever again.
Yep.
And then Dustin shows the peeps Dart, and they pass him around and hold him.
He's not slimy. They can fuck off. He's adorable, and I will die on this hill.
He can still be slimy and cute.
This is true. I do like slimy things too.
That will come back later when we do That's What They Said. They try to figure out what he is, like talk about pollywogs, and then they notice something moving inside of him, which I'm like, yeah, like this, probably isn't from here. It's probably from the Upside Down. Come on, kids. Come on. You should figure this out.
Some things you dealt with last that you saw. What?
It's got a circular mouth with pointy teeth. It's a fucking baby Demogorgon. Come on.
Gorgon.
A Demogorgon.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Hewitt.
Well, I mean,
Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay. Oh, God. That explains a lot, doesn't it?
Yes. But yeah, and they find out that he doesn't like the heat or sun. And meanwhile, Will is kind of having these PTSD flashbacks looking at it, and then like when he threw up the slug and like hearing the noises is a whole thing, but doesn't say anything at that time. And meanwhile, Bob brings lunch to Joyce at work, some yummy bologna sandwiches, which barf. And Bob says how much he likes her and being part of the family, and they have this cute moment, and then tells Joyce how he looked at the video from Halloween and there was kids picking on Will, which I liked how he mentioned how like his camera was dinged up, but he was more, concerned about Will and being bullied because, I think some assholes would probably be like more concerned about the camera, unfortunately. So I think that just really shows his character that he like said that, but he, focused on the more important part of it.
They make him so likable, those bastards.
I know.
He is either badass normal or evil incarnate. I haven't decided which way it's gonna go.
You'll see.
But we'll find out.
You shall see. And so, naturally Joyce gets upset and
yeah, kill him, Joyce. Fuck them kids. He's like, I'll kill him. I'm like, yeah, fucking do it.
Yeah, she was great. She's one of my favorite characters.
Oh yeah, she's amazing. And Bob mentions how he relates to Will as a kid, and he's like, but it all works out because I get to date Joyce Byers, and I'm like, oh, so cute. And then we have Hopper showing Dr. Owens about the dead stuff spreading from the lab, which of course he kind of makes fun of him at first, and tells Hopper there's nothing to worry about, which, yeah, Hopper is not having any of that. He's like, you got to check this shit out, bro. And Jonathan tells Nancy about what happened the previous night and tries to console her. Yeah,
hang on.
go ahead.
I have a note. While Hopper's talking to him, the doctor's like, "Oh, I like these patterns here." I'm like, "It's a fucking topographical map, dude." Like,
yep.
I don't know if he meant the circles and how it intersected with the lines that were already on the map, but I was like, yeah, how does this look psychedelic or whatever?
I thought he was talking about the topographical map, and he may have just been being an asshole.
He did.
And,
I think he was.
But yeah. Anyway,
he was being a dick.
Yeah, he was. Jonathan tells Nancy about the previous night and tries to console her, which was very sweet, because, you know, it was a very opposite of Steve's reaction to it. And they commiserate about carrying around a weight with them. And then Nancy gets an idea about involving Bob and Radio Shack, which, yeah, we find out she ends up getting this recording device.
Yes. I have Nancy / John. I really hope this is going somewhere interesting because I could not give two shits about Nancy.
Even with Jonathan?
I just don't care.
Okay.
It does. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And of course, Bob works at Radio Shack because Bob.
Of course, because Bob is awesome.
Yeah, he is. Elle comes up on the house with little girl and on a swing with her mom. And then we get a flashback to Hopper telling her a story about, telling her a story. And then they talk about how she obviously had a mom, but she's not around anymore, which, yeah, Hopper lied to her about that.
So Hopper lies about her mom, even though technically her mom is, like, gone. Like, her mom is, for all intents and purposes, gone.
Yeah. Hi, Ralph.
B, what the fuck did you pick for a bedtime story, Hopper? Like, what is that book that he's reading?
I was wondering that
this person is dead, and this person is dead, and this person is dead, and this person's a fucking orphan. Like, everybody's dead. Like,
it was the 80s. Like, my bedtime stories was horrible folk tales that my mother would tell me that were like Norwegian, where it was everybody got this dog getting dismembered after it tried to protect people, and then people getting eaten, and this little girl getting kidnapped, and that was my bedtime stories.
Oh my god. What happened, Johnny?
I don't know. Something disconnected and reconnected. It reminds me of the meme thing I just posted in the GDL Discord about Yule Cat.
Oh, the Yule Cat. Yes.
An Icelandic folklore, a giant monstrous cat who roams Iceland eating people who aren't wearing the clothes they got for Christmas.
Yep, exactly. Once just like that. Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, that was definitely.
Yes, go look up the Ubias, you guys, if you want to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I was gonna say these sound like scaring kids into behaving for sure, especially like wearing their Christmas clothes. Scared straight, yeah.
Yep,
essentially.
Yep. And this is why you don't go outside at night, because then you'll get brutally murdered and have really bad consequences, and everybody you love will die.
Which, I mean, was actually the case for Stranger Things. Meanwhile, real life, 50-50.
Yeah, it depends.
Yeah. And so the lady asks Elle where her parents are. She distracts them by wrapping the swing around the thing.
Yeah,
which
real
I'm
fucking
like,
inconspicuous 11.
Yeah.
Well, she's kind of stupid, so it's fine.
And
can I real quick?
Go ahead.
This is series long. This is a little thing that bothers me with this show, that they do this in a lot of shows, and it bothers me every time. But in this one, so she gets the bloody nose when she uses her abilities, right? Like just one little drip of blood that always stops right there, and she never does this. Like never. This is such a natural thing. She does it
in the first season.
She did it once. In the first season, yeah, at the quarry, I think it was.
Yeah, just once.
And it was to hide it. It wasn't when it was happening.
It was in it was in the gymnasium when she made the dude piss himself.
Yeah.
Well, it was also when they were walking down the tracks and she was trying to hide it, that she was using her powers to change the compass.
But until she decides she needs to do it for a reason, she never does it. It's like this would be such whenever anybody has a bloody nose.
They have to show it and let the shot linger on it enough to have us see it. I don't know. It's probably.
Well, I mean,
but yeah, it's weird that we almost never see her do it.
She'll sit there with it right here for like scenes, and it'll be the same thing that's there for like 20 minutes. And you're just going, by this point, she's run through a whole building. And it's not that she's used her abilities multiple times and just had multiple bloody noses. It's just that it's so unnatural for just anyone. When you have a runny nose, when you have a bloody nose, like and you go, oh shit, my nose is bleeding. Like it's such a natural thing that they took away from her. And it was the reason why is because they didn't want to have to match the makeup scene by scene. And so it's real easy to do that.
That's true.
But it's annoying. It takes it out every time. Every time.
That's a good point. Never thought of that.
Get her a goddamn handkerchief.
Okay. And then let's see. Joyce goes home to watch tape from that night. Gets help from Bob to watch it because she's like, this thing is not as big as it needs to be. That's what they said. And he helps figure it out. And so she watches the part where Will gets bullied and then sees a outline of the monster from the upside down on the screen.
How? Like, how the fuck did she even notice that on the tape? Like
the pixels, man, the pixels.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's what I want to know, Quip. Why are there no Kleenex in all of Hawkins?
Yeah.
Asking the hard-hitting questions here.
These are the important stuff. This is what really matters.
Let's see. Yeah, and she realizes it's the same thing that he drew before. And Dustin is about to show Mr. Clark Dart when Mike and Will run in and grab the trap.
Mr. Clark. He's just
he's probably like, what the fuck is going on here?
Because Dustin's really building up. He's like, this will change your perception of reality in your life forever. And Mr. Clark's like, well, I'm intrigued. And then they go, and he's just left there hanging all by his lonesome.
Yeah, he's just okay.
They love him so much, but they also give him so much grief without meaning to, between like stuff like that and then cock blocking him the first season with their late night phone call asking him about the sleep deprivation tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then boys lock out Max, which I was like, fucking Mike, get the fuck over it with her. It's so dumb.
Yeah. Max is my favorite character along with Joyce.
She's
and Dusty
great.
And Bob. And I do like Hopper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zaddy Hopper all day for sure.
Hell yeah.
Which these 2 episodes don't make him look too good, but honestly, like I probably would have acted the same because dear God.
I mean, yeah, she's being a horrible
BRAT.
Yeah. Bitch.
You said it, not me.
I mean, whatever.
So they think Will can see into the upside down and think Dart is from there. I summed up having kids. They love you so much, but don't realize how much grief. Yeah. I'm sure that was me as a child. Although I don't know. I don't think I went into my parents' bedroom all that often. Also, their door was like always open, so That's their own damn fault. And then fucking Mike goes, that's like saying just because someone's from the Death Star doesn't make them bad. I love that line.
Yes, that line was great.
And yeah, Mike and Dustin argue about Dart, and then all of a sudden Dart sprouts legs in front of them and runs out of the room just when Max is opening up the door. It was like a fucking perfect storm of events right there.
What a coinkydink. Another coinkydink.
Nancy and Jonathan call Barb's mom, tell her to meet them at the park, which at this point I was like, I forgot about this, and I'm like, why are they calling her? I'm so confused. And even after these 2 episodes, like, obviously kind of have an idea of their plan, but at the same time I'm like, I don't know. Were babies made on the Death Star?
Babies are made everywhere, man.
Yes, indeed. And then we see Owens is actually testing the pumpkins, and
I was
that
like,
was surprising.
Wow, actually doing the tests.
Yeah, and Hopper gets call from another cop about a Russian girl being reported, so he freaks the fuck out. And Elle makes it to the school, sees the boys' bikes, and then Elle and Mike just kind of miss each other in school at first. And then
I had this written down. I'm like, 11's gonna see them with Max and think she's been replaced and get pissed and run off, isn't she? And yep.
Yeah.
I could see it coming.
I'm
really good at making predictions right before they happen. There were a couple of things that I think
go for it.
You passed over that I had notes about.
Okay.
Max is not actually Billy's sister, apparently.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Because he said not. She's like
Step.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was surprised they were gonna tell Barb's mom the truth, and the phones were tapped. So.
Yeah. Which I'm guessing from what we find out later that they knew they were being listened to, and that was part of the plan.
Maybe
they wanted to be captured. I don't know. Anyways, let's see. Boys are looking for Dart. Mike finds Max in the boys' locker room, and she confronts him about him not liking her. And she tries to convince him that she belongs in the group. And meanwhile,
while they're Zoomer.
Yeah. Meanwhile, while they're having this conversation, 11 walks by and sees them and gets jealous and makes Max fall.
100%. So, okay. So Mike is totally not a paladin. He's a fighter. He thinks way too highly of himself.
What is a paladin?
A paladin is a holy knight. So it's like it's a knight who can like lay on hands and heal wounds, and they have divine magic given to them by a deity or their oath to a certain tenet. Like they're pure and good.
Yeah, they're supposed to be pure and good unless you're an evil paladin, but that's a whole different thing.
Yeah. So Mike is totally not a paladin. He's
a
fighter at best.
I had a feeling you would have comments about this part.
Yeah, dude. I understand that they're kids. Okay, I get it, but I just want to slap some bitches around and they get arrested, but it's fine.
And I get that he's probably actually talking about the characters that they play, but I'm guessing that this is also how he sees himself. And no, dude, you're not a fucking paladin. Will, I can kind of see as a cleric, but actually now that I'm thinking about it, based on what happens, I think warlock fits better. He's more of a warlock.
Okay.
Dustin is totally a bard, 100% on point.
Absolutely.
No notes. Lucas is a ranger. I can also see sort of fitting. Just I don't have anything. Maybe artificer, although I don't know. And then Elle is probably more of a psionicist and not a mage, but I don't know if psionics were actually a thing in D&D yet at this point. And Max unlocked the door, so she could totally be a rogue or a thief.
Yeah, well, and with how dexterous she is riding on that freaking skateboard, which would kill me if I even get near one and I die. It's ridiculous. It's fine.
Yeah. Fine. I just pulled that up, Johnny. Thank you for, but actually all of that.
Yeah, Ralph. They call her L, like Ellie, like
EL
like
for 11. That's the
I don't
first
think
Yeah.
I
two
ever call her
letters.
Ellie.
no,
No.
but it would be
L.
similar to be like Ellie for like, or L for like an Ellen or Elizabeth or
Mhm.
something like that. So
They take the written version of 11 and shorten it to L.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
So yeah, that is my analysis on.
No, Nancy's not the rogue. Psh, no, fuck that shit. I'm sorry, I really don't like her.
Tell us
I
how
wanted
you
to.
do feel.
Well,
Oh yeah,
they-
her real name is Jane.
What?
Wait, you didn't figure that out from
Oh no, that's
episode
right.
4?
I thought you were talking about Nancy for a second. I got confused.
Oh, no,
right,
no, no.
Elle's name is Jane. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. Which, yeah, I think, yeah, we did learn that in the first season. That's right, because her mom had mentioned that when Joyce and Hopper went there.
Yeah.
Oh no, Ralph's behind. Let's see, where was it? Okay, so and then when Max falls, Mike kind of gets intuition that it might be Elle and runs out, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's kind of a long shot. Like, I get that she described it as something like magnetic pulling her, but I was like, wow, you're really just grasping on straws right now. I mean, clearly he
Well-
was right, but
It was weird because when she describes it, she says it was something magnetic pulling on her board, not her. So how would she know that when the board just went out from under her? Sorry,
Maybe
I'm nitpicky.
maybe she felt it like accelerating without her kicking. Like, and if
That-
the board
okay,
started
that
to
would
move
make sense.
faster
Yeah.
without her actually like putting a foot down and kicking to go. That's the only thing that I can think of.
That would make sense, I guess. Oh,
yeah.
Ralph.
Started. Wait.
you're getting spoilers here.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there are some things like, because I never avoided spoilers for this, so there's some stuff that I've seen like with later
makes
seasons like Vecna and the Mind Flayer and whatnot. So there's some things that I know, but I have not watched all of the show. Yeah,
Yeah.
So cute.
yeah, quit.
That makes
Quip
sense.
says-
Yeah. I
yeah.
don't know anything about skating. I've been on a skateboard twice in my life,
It's
and
terrifying.
I fell off both times. Yep.
Yeah.
I got on a
Anything that
skateboard.
moves out from under me, absolutely not. No,
I
thank
got
you,
on a
not today,
skateboard once.
Satan.
My friend Evil Dave was like, he was a skater, and we were talking about skateboarding. I'm like, I've never stepped on a skateboard before. He's like, try it. I stepped on the skateboard. He's like, nope, get off, you'll kill yourself.
Yeah.
And I never stepped on a skateboard again.
Try it. No, don't try it ever again. Stop. No.
Yeah.
That's funny. Let's see. Joyce finds out that AV Club was canceled and freaks out and drives to school.
I was like, smash cut. Mama Bear is pissed.
Yeah, she is
Woo!
pissed.
You go smack them around a bit because it's the 80s. That's allowed.
Yes, exactly.
Don't do it anymore, though. It's bad.
Yeah, that's how I
Well,
feel
thanks,
too,
Ralph. We
Thanos.
like you too.
I don't put wheels under my feet. It's been since I was like 20. Also skiing. Skiing is terrifying. Let's see. Will finds Dart in the bathroom, growls at Will, and he runs out. Flashes to the upside down. Smoke monster comes after him. He runs out of the school. And Dustin gets to Dart. The others show up and they don't know where Will is. And while Will is running out of the school, he remembers what Bob said to stand his ground. And I was like, bad idea!
Yeah.
And
Maybe don't stand your ground against a kaiju.
Yeah. So the smoke monster ends up getting inside Will. End of episode. Very creepy way to end the episode. I forgot about how creepy this scene was.
Yeah, that poor kid.
Yeah, this poor
give him a
child.
fucking break.
Yeah, that's literally my note. That poor kid. Something I didn't notice. Did we see? Does Dart look different in the Upside Down than he does in? Have we seen Dart
in the upside down his upside down version? I don't think so. Not in that episode. I don't think.
Yeah.
And then,
then
I'm just like, God damn it, Dustin. Like, I get it. Like, but just fucking give the thing over to.
Yeah, I understand that. I am a
Because he
bit
grabs it
like
and puts it under
Dustin.
his hat.
Yeah, I would be the person that my friends would be yelling at for this because I'm absolutely a Dustin in this scenario where we have an understanding. It's my friend. It's my pet. It's now a part of my family. Okay. I don't understand that it's going to or can possibly become something dangerous. Like, this cat could eat me. I don't know. It's my cat. I don't care. But I also understand how stupid that is, especially
Ralph,
in this scenario.
Go watch it before you say anything, Johnny. Ralph, just go watch it.
I mean,
it's great. That's all.
I was
Anyways,
gonna answer him, but okay.
No, no, go watch it. Okay. Anything else to say about season 3, episode 3 before we get into episode 4?
Well, fuck. That's about it. That's my last note.
Yeah.
Because all the smoke monster going into
monster.
Will. Well, shit.
Damn it, I should have used the smoke monster. I totally thought of doing that and then I forgot. Mother of dick. Oh well. Okay. Episode 4 is titled Will the Wise. So, once again, starts just where episode 3 left off, which thank God, because it's very stress-inducing. Joyce shows up at school, finds the boys looking for Will. They find him in the field with his eyes closed, and he's kind of like, almost kind of looks like he's having a type of seizure.
Yeah.
He won't wake up. He's still getting taken over by the monster. And finally wakes up.
Bye, Ralph.
Yeah.
Thanks for stopping by.
Also, I do agree with Derek's comment there too, that Mike needs to chill the fuck out. Because I do feel like real quick with the last episode, I'm sorry, and then we can continue on forward. If Mike had handled it a little bit better, Dusty may have been more willing to turn Dart over. But with Mike immediately like attacking him, this is evil, which, I mean, we don't know at this point if he's right or not. But with that kind of addressing of it, it would have put anyone on that. Well, no, fuck you. It's my friend. I'm not going to peace, So, yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Mike definitely has a bit of anger issues, I would say, or just like yelling issues.
He feels like he's the leader of his group and that everybody needs to listen to him. Yeah, exactly. He's the paladin.
It's the hormones. Puberty is a bitch.
It really is. Holy shit. Never again.
He's got main character syndrome.
No.
Yes, exactly. He has main character syndrome. That's how it feels.
And so then, he wakes up and they realize he's had 2 episodes in 2 days, so not good. And
Will's going to be the USD incarnate. He's going to be the upside down personified.
Yeah. No comment. Will tells Joyce that he doesn't remember anything, and she's like, you need to be honest with me, and shows him the picture of the creature, and he says he saw it in the field. Derek says, this is the season where I started thinking, oh, I don't think I'm going to enjoy you for the rest of the show, am I, in regards to Mike?
Nope. That stick up his ass just stays there the whole time. He's got it now. It's never leaving.
Yeah, he didn't lube it properly, so
exactly. He didn't.
It's not coming out.
He didn't lube it or like sand it down so it was smooth. So now it's just like all prickles, and he's got a ton of sprinklers. Yeah.
Well, maybe the stick's out, but there's splinters that are just never going anywhere.
I could not say that word. I like sprinters.
Same.
What the fuck?
Yeah, the Wheelers are probably the worst in this show. I would agree with that quip. All around, everyone in the family. So he says he saw the same creature on the field, and says it's more of like a feeling, and the creature got him, and he still feels it. Meanwhile, 11 arrives back in the cabin, and Hopper is pissed.
Understandably so, to a degree.
Totally. And, they fight. He grounds her, is like, no Egos, no TV for a week. And then he keeps like increasing the time. And
she throws more fits.
Yeah. And she uses her powers to hold down the TV. And she's like, you're like Papa. And she throws a book at him when he like is just gonna, I think he was either gonna like toss it at her or like toss it on the table, and she like throws the book at him, shoves a couch into him, and then makes all the windows explode. Like it gets bad. And like the music during that scene is just like, it just really, the whole thing just like put you on edge. I think they did a good job with that, with making you feel that way. But yeah, it's also kind of hard to watch at the same time. Jonathan comes home and Joyce and Will are sleeping in bed together. Meanwhile, Will's eyes are like darting around while they're closed, which is terrifying. And Nancy and Jonathan go off together somewhere, ? Don't know at first. And that's when Joyce takes Will's temperature and finds out that he's really cold. And like, yeah, I couldn't see exactly what the thermometer said. I think it was like around 95 or something.
Yeah, it was like 95, 96. He was a couple degrees cold.
Yeah, not good.
It's like
not good.
Like an anti-fever.
Yeah. He would be going into hypothermia already at that point.
Yeah.
Normally.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Lucas, Mike, and Max are looking for Dart when Dustin comes to help them, or comes up to them. Will freaks out when he gets near the tub and tells Mom that it's too hot, which he immediately drains it too. And then creepily says he likes it cold. Terrifying.
I like it cold, Mom.
Who likes it cold? Like, I know it's the smoke being that it has inhabiting Will's body, but who is that?
We'll find out.
Yep. Exactly.
These questions, they're just questions that I ask.
I'm not answering you, Johnny.
Yes.
Hopper tells Elle to clean up the place while he's gone. Then we get the boys basketball again, and it's Steve versus Billy again, which Billy actually kind of gives him advice, which was interesting.
Yeah, Billy's such a class act.
Yeah, he's one of those where you're like, you hate him, but he's also, you kind of, I mean, you understand him later, but you also don't like him. Does not justify anything, but at the same time, there's reasons.
Yeah,
plus he's nice to look at.
My class act comment was total sarcasm because he's a dick.
Oh no, huge dick.
Big old dick.
And then we have why he gets all the ladies. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Speaking of, we have the shower scene. And
there you go.
Billy and the other guy kind of taunt Steve about Nancy running off with Jonathan. And
was the other guy the dude from the first season that hung out with Steve
it was
all the time?
The really prickly dude. Yeah, which clearly he's turned on Steve this season because he's like, Big Dick Billy's here. Gonna go with him.
I like the bully mentality more than this nice guy thing he's trying to do for this girl who doesn't even really like him. And the way his ass looking. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, that's who I thought it was.
Oh yes, yep, that asshole. Let's see. Nancy and Jonathan are waiting at the park together and trying to figure out who's like watching them. And they decide to leave, but of course Jonathan's car won't start, and their car gets surrounded by people.
Yes. Tangent time. I have a story.
Tangent
time. The guy
time.
who talked to himself. It just reminded me. So, one, during Errand of Mercy for Trek Retrek, I noticed this when we watched it, but I forgot to say it. When they're in the one room like with the council and Kirk's talking to all the people, there's one old guy at the table who's mouthing Kirk's lines while Shatner's saying them. Like you can just see him like like mouthing Kirk's lines while Kirk
is that the guy
saying
who
them.
knows what's like?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I noticed that. Interesting.
And then this happened to me when I was working at Best Buy. I was talking to a lady about a cell phone. And once I noticed what she was doing, it threw me off. It was the weirdest fucking thing. She would mouth what I said after I said it, like mouth it to herself. So like I would say a sentence.
I've done that before.
And as I was talking, but she did it whole conversation.
It's probably a neurodivergent thing to help
with her understanding what you're saying, probably.
Yeah, to help.
It just threw me off. I never experienced that before or since, but I'll always remember it because it threw me for a loop. I'm like, this lady's silent.
You probably think she's like making fun of you. Like you would probably think that first out of most things, but
I just thought it was weird. And then I figured later, I'm like, I think she was just trying to like make sure she understood what I was telling her.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah.
Interesting.
It was weird. That's
Tangent
my story.
Tangent time. Let's see. So yeah, they get surrounded and we find out later that they got not arrested, but taken. Let's see. Hopper goes to the buyers. Yes. Hopper goes to the buyers. Yes. And she shows him pics and tells him about the monster that Will saw. And they talk about these present memories spreading and growing and killing. And, it's taking a toll on Will. So Joyce is like, why don't you draw them? Which, great idea. Meanwhile, Mike is telling the boys about Will seeing the shadow in the sky, and they theorize that he probably saw it again yesterday, which, smart. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Turn over the polywog, Dustin. Just fucking turn. God damn it. All capital letters in my notes. That's what it says.
Yeah. Oh, Dusty. Oh,
also,
Dusty.
Dustin, where's your goddamn turtle?
I know he never thinks about his turtle again. It's
justice for Yertle.
I know it's unfair. It's unfair.
Like if you were as protective of your turtle as you were of this fucking thing, your turtle wouldn't have been evicted from its home.
For one, you'd made a new home for that thing. Okay,
like where's the turtle hanging out? Like is just running around the house unsupervised? Tortoise. I guess it's technically a tortoise. I don't know. Well, it's Yertle. So it's probably a turtle.
Yeah, exactly. Quip says first Barb, now Yertle.
Yeah, Yertle.
And we never for Yertle. Yeah, exactly. And unlike, it's less fair for Yertle because he never gets acknowledged ever again.
Gets the short end of the stick. Special little trauma service here. Really damned if you don't have the making for a solid podcast. Nope. Exactly. Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever find out about what happened to Yertle, and that makes me really sad. Maybe that'll come up in season 3, just like how Barb came up in season 2.
The whole season 3 is about Yertle.
Yeah.
Justice for Yertle. Trying to find Yertle. Yertle really escaped.
Yertle will come back final season as the real hero. Yeah, like next season, Yertle comes back. Oh my god, Teenage Mutant Ninja Yertle.
He went to the Upside Down and became the superhero over there. He's the real reason why the whole world's not shit now. Thank you, Yertle. You are the hero we never knew we needed.
He's the Dark Knight.
He's the Dark Knight. Yes, that would be amazing. A web series about Yertle.
Yertle hauled ass out of Hawkins. Someone make a web series.
No, it's a spin-off series.
Hour-long episodes following this tortoise.
Plot twist. Yertle is the mind flayer.
Oh, shit!
Oh, my God.
I watched that.
Just imagine. That's so funny. Let's see. Back to where we were. Let's see. Let's see. Mike tells them to find Dart to help Will, but since it's all connected, And while cleaning up, Elle finds a hidden door in the cabin floor and all these boxes of files underneath.
Well,
Johnny, were you gonna say something?
Fuck. What the hell? Why would you put it there? Fucking why?
Oh yeah,
Hopper.
yeah.
You're dumb.
Like, kids are gonna find those things. Like,
you're an idiot.
Hiding Christmas presents. Like, kids are gonna find them. Like, good luck hiding them.
Yeah.
Just gotta wrap them as soon as you get them. Were you gonna say something, Sean?
No.
Sorry, I was reading one of the comments, and it caught me off guard because I was just distracted. I'm sorry.
You're fine. You're fine.
Derek's double dipping.
Right.
Yeah, he is.
I feel like
podcast.
Oh, okay. Yesterday's podcast. Got it. Okay. Nice. With Hopper and Elle, I feel like their whole relationship is Hopper not knowing how to be a parent, but trying to be a parent to this little girl that he sees who needs one. And she's just like, fuck everybody.
Damn, Thanos. Yeah, I found some things that I definitely shouldn't have found as a child, but that's okay. Quip says, though, Hopper hides it there because DOE has him under surveillance and could potentially find the files if he kept them at the station. Yeah?
Fair. And they had his trailer bugged out once already, so...
Yeah. Exactly.
Maybe don't label them Hawkins' lab.
Or put them up higher, because she's short, right?
Label them
not down below.
Yeah.
Label them like taxes 1972 to 1982. Something like inconspicuous.
Or just write on there, this is boring. You don't want to read this.
Yeah.
Well, no, that wouldn't work because that would immediately make her want to read it.
Yeah. I think the difference is, though, is that, with his daughter, he had like her entire life to parent her until she passed. Meanwhile, like 11, like she had a totally different life, and like she wasn't really raised at all. She was just experimented on. Not Hawkins' lab.
Not the Hawkins lab files.
It's just different, and I feel like, especially with these two episodes, we can talk about it a little bit more after, but I feel like he definitely kind of projects some resentment towards her. I don't know if resentment is the right thing either, but definitely projects a little bit onto her. I think maybe just his anger towards the fact that she died. And he's still struggling with that, I'm sure, because, he definitely didn't go to therapy.
Nope.
Anyways, let's see. She goes through the one titled Hawkins Lab. Meanwhile, Jonathan and Nancy are detained at the lab, and Mr. Owens comes in, reassures them once again that the old dudes are gone. I'm like, take a drink every time Mr. Owens reassures that the old dudes are gone that used to run the lab.
And he's like, good. We're not great at hospitality. I'm like, that's a fucking understatement.
Yeah. And then he takes them to the giant vulva. Perfect timing. Hi, Allison. Giant vulva time. And tells them how the Soviets could take advantage if they found out about this. So the less people that find out, the better. The dude fires at the vulva veins. And then Will is then in a trance-like state drawing these really fast sketches, and Joyce realizes that the black lines connect, and they start putting together this like crazy maze vines mass, which I was like, how? I really
Nice, Allison.
She's the best. I still don't know how they put this fucking maze of lines together, because they look like they connect to any other of them.
Yeah.
Like all the I don't yeah.
I wrote, this was my notes. I'm like, I don't think the drawing had the effect they were hoping for. Or is it a puzzle? Yep, it's a giant fucking puzzle. Is it a map? It's the rot spreading from the lab. It's roots.
Yeah.
Like, do.
Yeah. It's like not obvious, and also, I don't know how they physically put them all together.
Yeah, and figured it out so easily because it's like,
it just looks like lines. Like, how do you know they line up together?
Tape and
you didn't
faith.
draw it. Yeah, exactly. Anyways,
this is a wave at the first season. Some things that worked in the first season.
Well, Bob wasn't there though. It was Joyce and Hopper.
Yeah,
Bob wasn't there for the map for the drawings.
No, if he had been, it would totally make sense. Everything would it'd all be no questions asked.
Yeah.
It is a rock opera.
Yes. Let's see. So it ends up being a weird map of the
metallic
/ rot. And Hopper just says vines and then leaves without telling Joyce what the fuck's going on. I'm like, okay, Hopper. Max tells Lucas that she's upset for being left out and they're treating her like shit, which I was like, good for you, Max. Tell them how it is. You should not put up with that. I was proud of her. And Lucas tells her, there's some things that he just can't tell her for her safety. And meanwhile, Billy is like eyeing Lucas and then asks about him when Max gets in the car. And then I was like, oh yes, that's right. Billy is racist and tells Max to stay away from him. That's right.
I have a note that like when she mentions Elle and he's like, how do you know about Elle? That was just different. Well, yeah, that was totally fucking different. But that's not satisfactory to Max. It's not.
No.
She's not going to understand that.
Nope.
It was different because Elle was what caused all of it. Like she's the reason everything happened.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, which I mean, so the scene with Billy, like, I think when I first watched it, I like way back when, I don't think I realized what he meant, like, but like now having watched the rest of it, I was just like, even if it wasn't racism, it definitely comes across as racism. So we'll just call it that. Call a spade a spade. Because he doesn't give a reason and just says like to stay away from people like him. And I'm like,
okay. Yeah, it's pretty clear that it's racism for sure.
Yeah. I think when I first watched it, I was like, oh, it might be that, but I was like, oh, maybe it's something else that he knows, and then
maybe it's just they're the nerdy guys, and so therefore they're not cool, and I don't know.
No. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's no good in Billy.
Nope.
Hopper takes a shovel to the rotting field, and it seems like there's like the shots of him walking up to the field, like from his backside, LOL, holding the shovel and everything. It totally just reminded me of like an emo music video for a second. It was really funny.
He just needed the hair.
Yeah.
And did you like the dramatic look over? Like he doesn't care.
Yeah. Like over his shoulder. Like, ugh.
Yeah, exactly.
And then drags the shovel along.
Yep.
And then let's see.
Exactly.
Elle finds her mom's file with a picture of her and Papa together. And then she goes into the purgatory world, as we're calling it, because it's not quite the upside down, not quite not the upside down. And finds her mom, and she sees her in a rocking chair, and she's kind of saying this like 4 to the left, 4 to the left, 4 to the right, 5, blah blah blah, just like repeating the same thing over and over. But then she says Jane, and then of course disappears right as Elle is trying to touch her. And then Mike goes to Will's, tells Joyce he knows about Shadow Monster. And Jonathan and Nancy leave the lab, which they're like, have a good day. Bye. That's it. We're just letting you leave.
Yep. Have a good day. Enjoy your
yeah.
dinner at home with your family, teenagers who are kind of shit people who know way too much. Bye. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And then we find out that Nancy recorded everything, and they're like, we want to burn the place to the ground. And let's see. Then we have Dustin comes home, and the terrarium has been shattered, and there's this weird, slimy skin left behind on it. And then he finds that Dart is feeding on Muse, and he is a demo dog.
So literally, Dustin walks in the door. His mom's putting Meow Mix in the bowl, which just looked like Cheerios.
It did look like Cheerios.
And she's like, Mew Mew, where are you? I'm like, oh no, Dart ate Mew Mew. Like Dustin wasn't even in his bedroom yet. I'm like, that.
Yep, that was.
I called it.
Yep.
Because my next line in all caps is, I fucking knew it.
Yep.
Poor Mew Mew.
That cat.
Rest in peace, Mew Mew.
That was unnecessary. He liked chocolate, not blood and guts.
Yeah. Or at least nougat.
Sorry, nougat, you're right. But
yeah, at the very least.
Yeah.
Like, he's got a
So
turtle.
sad.
Why wasn't he feeding him like what he fed the tortoise? Like the turtle food.
I like how he didn't even try to feed him anything else outside of the chocolate.
Just
like the nougat.
Candy.
He's like, oh, well, this worked once. That's the only thing that I'm going to try.
Malto Meal Cheerios. I don't think I've ever had Malto Meal Cheerios. I had Malto Meal as a kid, which was like sand, which I kind of weirdly liked as a child. And I was like, why didn't my mom feed me this? But I didn't know they made Cheerios. Interesting. Anyways, last scene we have Hopper digging and then finds this weird kind of stinky sinkhole thing. And he goes down into it, which I'm like, oh, why would you go down into it? And B, when you have no one else there to see what's happening and you've told no one where you're going, like you didn't tell Joyce where you were going before.
Exactly. Yep.
And then we find out he's in this weird upside down with the flakes in the air, and we're like, oh shit. Yeah.
He just went waltzing right in. No paper trail. Nobody
slid right in there.
He slid right into that
hole
that you. I was debating on saying something else, but it's fine.
So I'm guessing and obviously I don't
muses.
Yes.
I don't expect you to say one way or the other, but just in my head, my thought process is like the upside down is spreading into the real world, like merging with the real world. Something's going on there because it's definitely outside the lab, so that's a problem.
Yeah, that's a big old problem. Any other thoughts on this episode? The building was ready for his secret entry.
Yeah, exactly. Surprise penetration.
Oh my god.
Nobody expects the secret penetration.
That's why it's secret.
It makes me think of the episode of Family Guy where like Lois and Peter got either super drunk or super high, and she's talking to Brian. She's like, Brian, he's knocking at the back door. Should I let him in?
Oh God.
Or alternatively, this is a deep cut, but one of Jenna Marbles' most famous first videos that she did was she did like what guys think about during sex and what girls think about during sex, and I think it was the guys one. She's like pretending to be on top and then grabs one of her dogs and is like, surprise threesome. Oh God.
No, gentlemen. Real sex does not work the same way as pornography.
No, it's not.
Pornography is not an educational film.
No.
It's not
corn.
a how-to.
We got to call it corn, Johnny. Don't
Corn?
forget.
Yeah. Cornography.
Yeah.
Cornography doesn't have the right sounds, okay?
YouTube be YouTubing.
Oh, is that another YouTube thing? You can't actually say that word?
Yeah, I think that's more so like when we get monetized, but might as well start practicing now because hopefully someday over the rainbow. Yeah. Any other
300 today? So hey, thank you everybody. By
thanks,
the way.
y'all. Which works well because I think in our pre-recording we mentioned how we hit 300.
Should have hit 300
because I was like, we're at fucking 299 and we were like 300 and like it kept going up and down.
It was like 98, 99, 98, 99. We keep pissing off geriatric Star Trek fans.
Yeah, exactly. Which is fine with me. Yeah, they're like, but he wasn't that bad. And I was like,
when you were 12.
Yeah, like defending some characters for doing shitty things and saying it was that time. And I'm like, doesn't mean it wasn't a shitty thing. And yeah, I'm just kind of over it. And I'm just like, I'm just going to delete your comment. I don't give two dicks. Like, I don't stand for defending shitty behavior. So it's just going to go bye-bye.
Have you?
Sorry, not sorry.
No, sorry. Just not
no sorry.
Yeah, this is not a democracy. Freedom of speech does not apply to comments here. Hey, Brick.
Hi, Brick.
That's always good.
Oh, nice.
Well, maybe I should. No, I won't say that.
No spoilers. Shh.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on 3 and 4?
I do like some of the comments were making some points about Billy and how Billy could be a very interesting character. They just didn't really do enough with him, like where his racism could have come from, why he was a bully, the abuse that he and Max had to deal with their father, and that kind of stuff. It's like it makes him a very interesting character that they didn't really delve into very much. I feel like that's one of my biggest beefs with this show. Sorry.
Careful.
That's not really storyline relevant, but still, I apologize. One of the issues I kind of have with the show generally is that they introduce a lot of very complex, interesting things like Will with his with the trauma and stuff like that, and they don't go quite far enough with it, I feel like, or exploring what the effects are of these things on these actual children. Like all of them would have massive amounts of trauma from the stuff that they went through in the first season, and it's not really playing into who their characters in a realistic manner. Does that make sense? To a degree, like some of them, yes, but then oftentimes not. And part of me was like, I wanted to see you guys more. You can keep the superpowers, you can keep all of the upside down and the drama of that, but they touch on it
in a way. You mean?
Yeah, exactly. It adds a little bit more realism.
Yeah, I think there's bits, but I think they could have done it with all of the characters without it's not overwhelming, but without it being like in your face or just like taking up too much time, I guess. I think they're doing it with Nancy a bit, as much as we don't like Nancy. I think that is a very valid way to react and try to cope with things, like especially if you don't have anyone to talk to, or like you're limited on people to talk to, and like obviously like mental health is like stigmatized nowadays, was even more so back then. And I think we are seeing it a bit with Will, especially when Jonathan even mentions in these episodes how he's changed, and that's before he gets assaulted by the ghost, the smoke monster. So we see like a little bit with that, and like it totally could have triggered Mike's kind of like anger issues, I guess, in a sense. Like I think there's hints of it here and there, but I think they definitely could have gotten deeper with it, like you're saying. And
just a little, not too much, but just like enough to where you can go, okay, if if we could see a little more, then it would be a lot easier for us as the audience to be able to go, instead of being like, Ellie, why are you being so, or sorry, Elle, why are you being so annoying? Nancy, why are, oh my God, I want to strangle you. Or Mike, shut the fuck up. Like, instead of doing that, you'd be like, okay, I'm frustrated, but I understand. And if they gave you just a little more, it would feel, I feel like you'd be able to have a little more empathy for what they're actually going through. Because it's like, they don't quite go enough with them. And all of the kids would have trauma. Yeah, exactly. All of those kids would have freaking trauma. Joyce would have trauma. Like Hopper would have a little bit of trauma. Elle very much. Like all of them would have some form of trauma that they would be dealing with that would make sense for it to, especially in this second season where it's after all of that horrible shit, right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
we kind of talked about that a little bit last week when we talked about episode 1 and 2. We were talking about the therapy, and it's like, I don't know if there's a therapist on the planet who's enabled and like to handle this kind of thing.
Well, I mean, this isn't
through.
Reality, so
yeah,
clearly
I know, but not to not go from fairly serious to silly, but I did want to, like, he does like stick out. Like, they got a time machine and got an actor from the 80s and brought him today. Because like Steve doesn't look like an 80s kid. Steve doesn't look like an 80s kid.
No.
Like,
Billy definitely
aside
does.
from the bowl cuts, the kids like could fit in.
Oh God, those
anytime.
bowl cuts, man.
But Billy, they straight up pulled an actor from 1984 and brought him to the present day. Like, I don't know what it is about his makeup, or his hair and makeup is just, he's from the 80s, 100%. He could be on the cover of Tiger Beat.
Yeah. And I will, what Derek said, a few of Billy's aspects are explored. Without giving away too much. Yeah, we see a bit more from what I remember, but I haven't watched these episodes in a couple of years, so I can't remember exactly. So we will see.
Thanos has something of a point here. Like, some of it may be the fact that these shows are limited to 8 or 9 episodes. Unlike in the past, we just finished season 1 of Star Trek TOS, and that was 29 episodes. Like, they don't make them like that anymore.
Yeah. Well, they do sometimes. Yeah. It's just along the lines of, like, with this one, especially with it being a Netflix show, the first season they got greenlit. So they had a little bit more wiggle room, even though it was a bit rushed still in certain ways, but it was really good because they were able to do more of what they wanted. And then with this second season, Netflix came in and put their fingers in it and went like, no, you have to have by this point, at this minute, you have to have this, you have to have this, you have to have this, and everything has to go towards the plot, every single thing. So if something's not relevant to plot, but it's character relevant, we don't give a shit. So I feel like we're probably limited a lot by that element as well. I know way too much about film production. Yay!
No, I love learning about that stuff. Yeah. That's very interesting to me. And that makes sense, especially because I think going forward in the next seasons, they found a good balance of that. Like, season 2 is kind of infamously known as being the worst season. So
I'd like to see a compromise, because like, I don't think the 22-24 episode seasons are good for the production staff, the actors and the producers and the directors.
It takes a long time.
8 to 9 just doesn't feel like. 12 to 15 I think would be a good balance. And I was gonna say, it did feel like, and I think I complained about this a little bit in a roundabout way in season 1, it did kind of feel like at points like the show has been trying to check boxes of like, here's the character misunderstands another character, thinking that something happened, but that's not what actually happened. They're going to get into a fight, and eventually by the end of the episode, they'll come around and understand each other, or by the end of the season. It's not done in a like new compelling or unique way compared to how I've seen that story in other things.
Totally.
Like, for an example, His Dark Materials, the adaptation, started watching it. I'm like, I've watched this show 100 times. Like, I've seen this story.
I couldn't get past
a million
the first
times,
few episodes.
And I didn't finish it because I've seen the story before. Like the way they were presenting it, I've seen that show.
Yeah.
Throughout like a bunch of other different
As much
shows.
as I love looking at James McAvoy, I couldn't get past like I think 4 episodes. I was like, this isn't drawing me in enough.
Jupiter Ascending. I think I've said this before. I should love the shit out of that movie. That movie was made
Tangent
for me.
time.
It's got Mila Kunis. It's got laser swords. It's got fucking medieval sci-fi. I've put it on. Credits roll. Movie starts. And then the movie's over. And I completely like black out in the middle of the movie. Like, because it doesn't hold my attention. I can't watch it.
Yeah. I have a lot of shows like that. I'll watch because I know way too much about the film industry. And one of the things I enjoy doing is finding something that's actually good in the sense of it's something unique. It's something new. It's not another thing that's just being done over and over again. This is one of the issues I have with the show Wednesday is that Wednesday would have been better if they had made it its own thing and not tried to capitalize off of the Addams Family. So it's like they do that with so many things. And it's like everything, when they do that, they all follow the same formula. They all follow the same book. They've all read the same book. They're all being written by the same 5 people. So it's everything is the same. And they just change a character here and there. They change maybe the setting. Maybe they'll add in some magic, but it's not really relevant, or it is relevant, but it's still just the same as this other story where it's a sci-fi thing instead of a magic thing, but they're exactly the same. And they do that so much. So when I can find one that doesn't do that, it makes me really happy.
Yes.
I've talked about this. It reminds me a little bit in a different way. If you're familiar with Pennyworth, that show.
Didn't you mention this before as well?
I have, but I haven't said it to Seanna, I don't think. That show is bonkers, batshit insane, and it's fantastic.
Pennyworth. Okay.
Pennyworth. Yeah. And I honestly think that show was a random generic British spy thriller. And at some point during production, someone said, you know what we should do? We should make this about Batman's butler. And
yeah.
And it doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Okay.
But the show's fucking great because it's bonkers. I love it.
I like bonkers.
Say bonkers one more time.
Bonkers.
Bonkers.
That shit insane. I was watching the first episode, texting my friend Dawn, being like, I don't know what the fuck I'm watching, but it's fabulous.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I say that a lot about, there was something I watched, Johnny, you may be able to help me, but there was something I watched somewhat recently in the last couple months.
I don't know what I just watched.
Yeah, what the fuck did I watch?
I think it was one of the episodes of TOS last season, but I don't remember which one.
Yeah. I'm also, for some reason, I'm thinking Gen V. There might have been an episode like that. I love Gen V. It was really good.
I started that. I haven't finished it yet.
It's good. There's definitely some episodes of that where it's like, the fuck is happening?
That's like, I mean, it's a part of the boys universe. It's, of course, you're gonna have some what the fuck did I just watch moments.
But like, in terms of just it was very different than other shows, like, and The Boys is very different, so you know it plays off of that. But there was one in particular that I'm remembering now that, like, without spoiling it is just all over the place, and as a viewer you're like, I don't know what's happening, like I cannot predict what's happening. It's great. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Go watch The Boys. They're great.
Pennyworth, Doom Patrol, and Legends of Tomorrow. Legends of Tomorrow, the first season,
I don't know about
rough.
Legends of Tomorrow.
The first season is rough. After that, it was my favorite Arrowverse show from the second season of Legends to the end of the Arrowverse. It's amazing, I think.
I love
One Piece, just to say.
Sorry. I have a thing. It is, if the first episode is bad, I have a really hard time watching anything else, no matter how many people tell me it gets better, I swear. Because these people are getting paid so much that there's no excuse for it. And that's my personal opinion. I'm like, okay, this is a Disney show. This is a Netflix show. This is a HBO show. There's no reason.
Yeah, they have a lot of money.
Yeah, they have so much money, and they're a lot of these people, like the writers get paid maybe at the least, oftentimes for like big shows, $10,000 an episode just to write the one draft.
Damn.
Which is a lot of money. And if they're writing 10 episodes, that's $100,000 for that season, which is not as much as the actors get, which is lame. And I won't get into that. But it's like you're getting $10,000 for writing something that, and you're writing shit. I understand needing time to grow. It's a matter of, you can tell in the first episode, it's a difference between it being slow and being bad. If the first episode is bad, it's just bad. But if the first episode is slow, it's still good. It's still engaging. It's still interesting. It's just the pacing's different. It's different for me in that
Farscape
regard.
was like that. Farscape's first season is not great.
And like The Office, Parks and Rec, yeah.
But it was not bad.
Yeah,
there's a huge. The later seasons are much better than the first season, but the first season is still good. I was gonna say something else and I forgot what it was. Oh, One Piece. I watched the first episode of One Piece. It was fine. I haven't gone and watched any more.
It's crazy. You kind of had to just suspend disbelief.
One Piece in and of itself, for whatever reason, just doesn't make me go, I need to watch all of it. Like, I've never read the manga. I've never watched any of the anime. I did watch the live action because my friend Dawn is very into One Piece. And she watched all of it and thought it was great. But I watched the one episode, but I haven't gone back to watch more yet.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely, like, I was hooked by it because it was so different and so like campy, and I was like, oh, this like fascinates me. And like the first few episodes I was definitely hooked, and then I think the rest of it I kind of just watched and I wasn't really as invested as I was at the beginning of it, I will say. But I still think it was a fun ride, and yeah, very campy, very like, yeah, what's going on here? What I was going to say before about pilots, you probably know more about this, but like from the little I do know, they can often get changed around, you know, because like there's like the pilot, and then like they go back and do like reshoots and stuff like that. And sometimes it is to their detriment in a way because that happens. So I don't know if like that's a factor, which is an unfortunate factor because sometimes it can just make it like choppy and not as seamless, or stuff like that. But yeah, it's hard when a first episode is not good and then, you know, everyone's telling you just keep watching. I'm like, no.
Yeah,
like, I don't want to watch more of this.
Right.
But
I watched 3 episodes of Willow and I wanted to cry.
Oh, Angel. I remember when Chris, who plays in Diced Thespians, lent me the Angel DVDs and I tried to watch the first season. And I was like, I don't know if I can do it. And he was like, keep going. Trust me. That's probably one of the worst.
Keep going.
The first season of Angel is
Don't
bad.
Stop.
Don't stop believing.
Exactly.
Keep going in that franchise.
Oh, Brick likes it.
Yeah.
Or loves it, technically.
The show itself is great. That first season is just
rough.
A slog.
That's too bad.
It's like trying to wade through waist-high peanut butter.
Damn, that is a metaphor.
Yeah.
Analogy, whatever.
One of those.
One of those things.
Both. Yeah, I like One Piece. It knows what it is, which is a campy anime adaptation, and it's having fun with it. And it's still also trying to keep some emotion in there. So I feel like
there's definitely some emotion. I cried.
Yeah,
I cried.
Absolutely. And it knows what it is, and it's not trying to be anything else. And I really appreciated that. And you could also tell that it was made by people who love the original content themselves, which I appreciated, because oftentimes with remakes like that, they don't. They're just a bunch of people wanting a paycheck, and they said that this will make them money. So, but with that one, it definitely feels like they actually cared about it. So it helped.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, tangent time over.
Okay.
Back to Stranger Things. Okay. So any quick predictions going forward, Johnny? You think that's gonna happen the next few episodes, the rest of the season? The usual no. Shit's gonna get fucked, as I like to say.
Everybody dies.
I don't think anybody dies. I have been spoiled on that. Maybe. The main cast doesn't die, from what I can tell.
Who do you think dies?
I don't know. I don't have any.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm just, if you want to say it here just to have on record, you can say you're right.
Evidence.
No.
I want to say Steve, but that's wishful thinking, and I know it's not.
I will say it's not Steve.
I don't know. Some comments earlier made me think that Bob's days are numbered, it seems.
What are you talking about? He's the best.
He is the best.
He is the best.
Who would likely be? I mean, Billy's probably going to have to die at some point, right?
I don't know. We shall see.
I don't know. I don't have any other picks. There's no obvious no other obvious targets that I can
any idea what Nancy and Jonathan's plan might be to do with the recording?
Well, I think they're gonna take it to Barb's mom. Or I think that's part of their plan, is to tell Barb's mom what actually happened. Yeah, here we go. All right, justice for Barb.
Justice for Barb.
Yeah.
Future D&D references, all of them, every single one, all of them will be in there.
Yeah, just wait till season 4. There's a pretty epic D&D.
Yeah, you're gonna love that.
Yeah.
I did really like season 4 for the most part. There were some things I was like, oh my god, but for the most part, it was like, yay!
Yeah. See, and especially considering it's season 4, like a lot of shows, it's like you only talk about season 1, season 2, but like the fact that it's season 4 and it's so many people's favorites. No spoilers.
It was way too late.
That's not a spoiler. That's just an encouraging of loving Bob.
It's a red herring.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like it totally could be. D&D predictions. I don't know. They'll get some more shit wrong.
I mean,
one would think they would have someone working on this that knows D&D.
Well,
but I guess
sometimes
not.
the stuff doesn't translate as dramatically as you would like. So you have to fudge things. Like, I understand.
That's
but
fair.
Like, Shauna, I dissected the very first scene of the show with the fireball, and they're like, you had to roll a 17. You don't have to roll to hit with a fireball.
Yeah. Yep. I was okay. I was gonna ask if at some point that you thought about that, but I didn't say anything when I first saw it. I was like, that doesn't okay.
Yeah.
They're playing by house rules.
Allison. God damn it. I'm gonna ban user. I'm gonna put you in timeout.
I think that
a drinking issue.
I'm starting to wonder now, but my prediction for Bob originally was he's either like I said, either badass normal, like, and he's dealt with all this shit before.
And yeah, you still
somehow,
don't know exactly what's going to happen to him.
Or he is evil
with
incarnate.
him.
And turns out he's the villain.
You'll see.
You'll find out, yeah.
Brick, we can't do every little thing. Love you, but we're getting into the nitty gritty here.
I mean, we're going into this is
one
is this,
can hope and dream there's going to be some Genesis or Phil Collins, but you know.
Yeah, is this I forget, is it 84 or 85 this season?
We're now in 84.
84. So we're going in 85.
Just
Back to the Future.
November. We're now in November 84.
Isn't when did Back to the Future come out?
I don't know. Frick, I'm just giving you shit.
1985. Back to the Future references next season. That's what I say.
There you go. All right. Shall we do some... Do we want to do the spoilers without context or that's what they said first?
Let's switch it up because for Trek Recheck we do the that's what they said first. Let's do the spoilers without context first.
Okay.
Here
Sounds
are
good.
your spoilers without context for season 2, episode 3 and 4. What was the name of
3? Oops. Let me move my notes. 3 is Polywog.
Polywog.
4 is Will the Wise.
Kayla's will be up first.
Okay. Yeah, I really struggled to find things for these episodes. So fucking Bob and Joyce had the bologna sandwiches, so there's that. And then Mike made the comment about the Death Star, so there's that. And Joyce traced the smoke monsters, so I found a tracing photo. And then Mr. Baldo, the clown, so did the clown from It. So yeah, nothing that exciting.
I appreciate that you used the original It clown. Tim Curry.
Every prediction I get right, apparently you're going to owe me some money. Derek says cable fun bucks.
You know, I don't have that kind of money because you get a lot of things right.
Here are my spoilers without context for Polywog. I had to do the VHS-C adapter because I was thinking in my head, I'm like, they must not have had the VHS-C adapters yet when at the time this took place. I was like, why don't you just get the... I did have to laugh at her pushing it into the VCR.
Not working.
And then a Polywog because...
Cute.
And then, I forget this guy's name. He's a legit Marvel superhero that rides a skateboard. So I was doing that for
for Max.
For Max and her Zoomer comment. Yeah.
Static Shock?
I looked it up. No.
No, wrong one. Shit.
I have no idea.
I just found it.
Rocket Racer?
Yes, Rocket Racer.
Rocket Racer.
Okay, there we go. Okay. Thanks, Derek.
Thank you, Derek. And then this is a token for a virtual tabletop of a Dungeons and Dragons world called Everard's Black Tentacles.
Oh God!
Which is what the upside down smoke monster reminded me of, like black tentacles coming out of. So that I used that.
Nice. Much better than mine. Mine were stupid.
Yours were good.
No, they weren't.
I knew what you were going for.
I mean, the clown one is a big, huge thing.
Yeah. So here are the spoilers for episode 4, Will the Wise. Here are Kayla's.
Yep. So I did the glass shattering because Elle shattered all the windows, and then a trap door. She went down the trap door. Yeah, I literally searched 80s recording device for this. And then this is kind of a deep cut / when he found Muse, RIP, # justice for Muse. It reminded me a lot of when, oh my God, I'm already forgetting this character's name in The Fall of the House of Usher. But when he comes across his cat that unfortunately died, and it reminded me of the same kind of shot where it was like over the couch or chair or whatever, and then
I want to say Prospero, but I think Prospero was the youngest.
No, Prospero's the youngest one. Yeah. I'm gonna IMDb it. Don't you worry. I will tell you in 0.5 seconds. Well,
Leo? Is he Leo?
I can't remember.
Oh, I think it was Leo. Drug Ushi Flirkin. I love these answers.
Perfect.
That's great. I think it's Leo. Yeah, Leo Usher. There we go.
And then, I'm pretty sure I didn't have that tape recorder, but that tape recorder was in my house as a kid in the 80s. These are then my spoilers without context for episode 4. I did
Justice
Holly
for Yertle,
because that's the fucking youngest Wheeler kid's name because she's in this episode. Because last week we were like, "What's the name of the youngest Wheeler kid?" and we didn't remember, and we didn't bother to look it up.
I thought we said Holly. I
don't
said
remember
Holly
us saying
because
it.
there's an episode in season 1 that's called Holly Jolly. I swear I said that too.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember remembering. I don't remember having my memories erased. And then a tortoise for Yertle because poor Yertle just got evicted from his house and never to be seen again.
Justice for Yertle.
And then an ice bath because, as Will said, he likes it cold. Whoever that may be.
You crazy loon. That's what he is.
And then top secret file folder for Banker's Box file folder because
clearly labeled top secret.
Yeah, and kept the Hawkins lab files literally under 11's nose.
Yep.
So there you go.
Literally.
Those are our spoilers without context for these episodes.
Amazing. Good job.
Thank
All
you.
right. Shall we do our That's What They Said?
Oh, hang on. I just shook a window and minimized everything. I hate that.
Oh, no.
I'm back.
Johnny.
I've got
Get your shit together. So yeah, Seanna, we just go each read one of the lines. But yeah, feel free to read them however you like. Johnny, do you want to go first? And then it'll be me, Seanna, or should we have Seanna go first?
Yeah, we should have Seanna go first. We'll just have the guests go first every time.
We don't have too many for these 2 episodes, but
okay. Dusty.
Whenever.
How was it?
It was tubular.
Mr. Henderson, you know the rules. 5 at a time.
Every night he came to me.
Some real nasty stuff. It was sticky.
You want to hold him?
Oh God, he's slimy.
I've done my part. Now you do yours.
I felt it everywhere.
I still feel it.
Are you sure you don't need that ride?
The more the merrier, sir.
You still want to do this?
It's tiny. It's like it shrunk.
In your fucking ice bath.
Yay! Those are your That's What They Said for season 2, episodes 3 and 4 of Stranger Things. That was great. Oh, my cheeks hurt.
Standard Edition's 80s appliances. Yeah, those tape recorders, that alarm clock, that AM/FM radio alarm clock, or the brown one. Yeah, my dad had one of those. Oh goodness.
Those brown alarm clocks, I'm pretty sure we had them too. It's giving me flashbacks.
All
right, Jinx. Well, this has been a lot of fun. Seanna, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Blast. Yeah, if you want to let people know where they can find you, what you have going on, what you have coming up, all that stuff.
Okay, I am a part of a Twitch stream channel called Diced Thespians, and every Tuesday we live stream a D&D game. At the moment, it is one that I am running, and it's chaos. It takes place in the 1920s, and it is chaos. Did I mention it was chaos? But it's chaos. It's fun. It's fun. There's a it's fun. It's fun. Come check it out if you'd like to. Also, if you want, you can follow the Instagram, and I think there's a Twitter, but I don't know for sure. I'm not very helpful. All under Diced Thespians. Yep.
And the links to those are in the description of the video as well.
Excellent.
Yep. Yay. And if you want,
rather.
Yeah. If you would like to follow us, you can follow us at GTFO channel on all the social medias, or if you want to email us, our email is channelgtfo@gmail.com. It is the opposite handle of opposite of our social media handle. Coming up tomorrow, we have season 2, episode 1 of Star Trek TOS, Trek Retrek. So look forward to that. It is a mock time, very iconic episode. So yeah, excited for y'all to see our discussion on it. It'll be at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern, or if you're watching this on the replay, go watch that as well. And then we'll be covering this the next 2 Wednesdays. So next Wednesday we're going to be covering episodes 5, 6, and 7 because there's 9 episodes this season. And Kyle Wadaga from Super 7 will be on with us. So very excited to have him on and talk about it. He's awesome. And and then the last episode will be with Factor. So very excited to have him back on too. And lots of fun stuff coming up. Thanks y'all for being here. Thanks for watching the replay. Make sure to smack that like, smack that subscribe, smack that bell icon, smack all the things. And continuous smacking.
Violence those buttons. Violence them.
Exactly what she said. All right, y'all. Thanks for geeking the F out with us. See ya soon. Bye.
Bye.